Hi, this is Paulie from the Main Street Market Exchange. I hope you're doing well. The topic of this particular video today is distributorship. How you can be a distributor with the Main Street Market Exchange and what it is that you get. I'm going to cover about 9 points as quickly as I can to try to explain it as best I can. But I think before I get to these 9 points, I want to just mention 3 things that I just thought about that might help you to make a decision about being a distributor with the Main Street Market Exchange. I really don't know where you're coming from in your life, whether you're experienced, whether you're not experienced, whether you're just starting out in life, whether you're an older guy or an older gal or in middle-aged or whatever, and you really want to find a great place to work with and to make some real money. But there's 3 things that come to mind before I get into this. The first thing is, with the Main Street Market Exchange, I think you may want to think of us as a great watering hole. And what do I mean by that? Well, in the business boot camp, I allude to the fact that when I was just graduating from LaSalle University back in 1980, many moons ago, 40 years ago, I remember my dad set up 2 lunches for me, one in Manhattan and one back in our hometown, and both meetings were with 2 fine, experienced Jewish businessmen. And they both mentioned the same thing to me. They said, Paul, I remember, both of them said, Paul, you got to be at a watering hole. And with the second gentleman, I said, explain what you mean by that, watering hole. I thought I knew, but I said, explain. He goes, well, Paul, you got to be an attorney, you got to be an accountant, you got to be a banker, you got to be somewhere like a businessman, a real estate broker, so somewhere where the money is, where, like you think of a watering hole in Africa where the animals go down and drink at the watering hole. You got to be at a place where there's business happening. And the Main Street Market Exchange is the ultimate watering hole with new ideas and new plans generating all the time. We're going to become the #1 premier source of plans and investment into plans in the country. So we're a good watering hole. The second thing is, it's a place then that you will have the way of focusing your efforts where you want to go. The mantra or the motto of the Main Street Market Exchange is, what is it that you want to do? Do you want to do real estate? Do you want to invest in plans? Do you want to copy me exactly what I do here just to get a lot of plans and get them fully developed and funded? Do you want to, do you want to invest in plans? I don't know what you want to do. Do you want to call on millionaires to get paid an incentive? I don't know what it is that you want to accomplish, but you get to do that. You get to focus and look at all this different stuff and then make a decision. Not a forced decision. It's what you want to do. So, for example, suppose you come on and say, look, I really have always wanted to flip houses. That's what I really want to do. I want to flip houses. I want to keep my job right where I'm at, but I want to flip houses. Well, you with your mentor, because mentorship is mandatory. It's like a mandatory thing. You can't work without a mentor. You need to have a mentor, which is a voluntary mentor that you don't have to pay. You need to deal with a really cool, genuine mentor who can then steer you maybe to another distributor in another area that does what you're looking to do. Like he or she just flips houses and they're great at it. So you might want to focus all your energy just into that. Cool. So then you're able to then choose what you want to do. And the third point is, which I think is the greatest point about the distributorship, is that you'd be associated to deal with other like-minded, genuine, kind, motivated, hungry people that are not pricks and negative and backstabbing or whatever. So you'd be dealing with folks, like-minded folks, hard-working folks, people who want to make money, but that will cooperate with you if indeed you need their cooperation. In other words, you're not out there alone, which is, in my opinion, really cool. So a watering hole, you get to direct your efforts where you want, and then being associated with other like-minded, genuine, really empowering people, to me, is a winning formula. But as I ramble on a little bit, let me get right into, if I can, some things I typed up of what you get as a distributor. You get a defined territory, a specific territory, usually associated with where you live. So basically, it's just the county you live in. You get assigned territory. And I do this just to add structure. I got to add structure to the exchange and the distributorship. You think of it similar to like maybe a car dealership or a motorcycle dealership or a Culligan water dealership or a Century 21 office, where you have a defined territory where you're at. Now, it's not multi-level marketing. It's not network marketing. It's not a franchise. There's no franchise fee. There's no network marketing. There's no downlines for multi-level marketing where you're trying to get everybody involved selling vitamins. There's none of that. It's a specific distributorship. And it also includes the internet as your territory. So effectively, you could really do business anywhere you want, because now with the internet, you could do business if you're in Los Angeles with a person in New York City with a deal, whatever kind of deal you want to pursue. So you're not restricted because the internet's open to you, and the internet's a territory in and of itself. If there would be some crossover, for example, where there's another distributor and whatever deal you have or are doing is something that you got to clear with them, it's just a matter of a phone call. The second thing is you really have first shot at everything, every plan. So you get a chance to look at all the plans before anybody else gets to see them from the public. You also get a 10-day hold accommodation. So, for example, if you see something like wanting to make, you want to get involved in a new Uber type business, and you see that come across, and you want to claim that for your territory, you get what's called a 10-day hold. You call up the distributor and say, look, I want that. I'm here, a distributor. I want to be involved with that. I'm not sure right now, but just hold it, and they'll hold selling it to someone in your particular territory or introducing it to any person in your territory. They'll give you a 10-day period to make up your mind. So you get to see it first, you get that 10-day hold reservation, so to speak, for the territory, and then you get the right of refusal by saying, hey, I thought about it, I'm not interested. And you also get a potential finder's fee and commission on a lot of different things that'll surface. For example, one plan that I have is to show folks how I did my executive recruiting business. I show you how to be an executive recruiter. It's pretty cool. Instead of buying a franchise and doing all that what they want for $200,000, I charge $5,000 just to show a person how to be an effective recruiter and what they actually have to do. But for example, I'd pay a finder's fee to you if you sent me somebody of $1,000. So you have the capacity in a number of different ways to receive finder's fees and potential commissions and whatever that way. The third thing to bring about is you also get the right to solicit and sell fully developed plans. So you can solicit. That's the bread and butter of the Main Street Market Exchange. I want to find out what you want to do, and there's a business that opens every 25 seconds in the U.S. But we want to help people when they find what they want to do. We want to write up a plan. We want to fully develop the plan. We want to put it on our platform and then get them funded or invested in, just like people invest in Wall Street. You also get access to the 10 components of the plan, of actually writing the plan, the template, so you'll be able to write the plans to be able to put up on the site. And you also have access to Main Street Market Exchange folks here to try to assist you in writing the plan if it's not something that you want to do, you don't think you're good at, or you think it's going to take you like 50 plans to get good at that you need assistance. So you have access to us. Yeah, you have the right also to sell the boot camp, which is a very cool thing. And the 3 different ways that we present the boot camp are either download the 14-session boot camp for somebody, if they want to buy it that way. If they want to enroll in the boot camp, which is a 2-day boot camp live via Zoom, usually Thursdays and Fridays, but people can attend via Zoom or Skype or Blue Jeans, whatever vehicle we decide we want to use, the delivery platform. And then the third way is if I'm in your town and you say, I want to bring you in for these different companies all over my area, and I want you to do a live boot camp, you're able to be compensated that way. So you'll be able to get compensated by using the boot camp. Also, if you're thinking about being a mentor, because mentors are key to the Main Street Market Exchange, you have you can establish your distributorship, and then also in line with that, you can assign a joint distributorship to someone else. So your daughter, your son, your grandchild, a disadvantaged poor person, whoever it is that you decide that you want to also be a distributor, you can have joint distributor status. And they have to also get sort of trained, so to speak, if you want them dealing with things within the Main Street Market Exchange, but as a mentor who we really deem as integral parts of the Main Street Market Exchange. And that goes back to my Be Your Own Boss days back in '93 when I wrote the Be Your Own Boss packet of information to have a mentor for every different type of business that you're looking to get into. Mentorship is key, but you also get an additional distributor on top of that you can add to another person to make it sort of like a joint distributorship per se. So you get that status also too when you sign up to be a mentor in the distributor package. You also get the right to sponsorship. You get to sell sponsorship, and we get to receive sponsorship. That can be from a variety of sources. If you're soliciting, which is the next one, millionaires, or you're soliciting major corporations or Wall Street or banks, and you solicit and or through your territory are actively working with them, and then you receive sponsorship, you get an incentive that way as well. And on top of that, then you also get a chance to broker fully developed plans once they're funded. In other words, we fully develop the plans, put it on the platform, people invest in that plan, you broker the closing just like a lender signs, like when I did many loan closings, or think of a person at a settlement table, a title clerk signs. You should attend all the different closings of your particular deals. But if you're not comfortable doing it, that's okay. But if you want to broker those or close those or effectuate them and make them happen and be the person at the table, you get also the fee for that. So those are ways that you can deal and get incentivized and commissions paid to you through the exchange. And we'll explain a little bit more to make it clear for you in other different webinars and podcasts that we have. Or just give me a call and I'll talk to you specifically about it. But there's 3 different approval guidelines or parameters that go into whether we approve you to be a distributor, because it has to be a two-way street. It has to be a match. If it's not a match, it won't work. And the first thing is you have to be hungry and a self-starter. And the reason I say this is because I only want to deal with people who are not whining and complaining. I want people who want to make money. And you got to be a self-starter. We can assist you in any way possible, but I can't do it for you. And you got to be a match with us. I only want serious and genuine people. And you got to give me 3 references, and I'll call them and I'll ask them specific questions about you to see if you match what we're looking for. And you got to be hungry. You can't just say, as people have said, I've given the boot camp for free to disadvantaged guys, when are you going to make me rich, Paulie? When are you going to make me rich? Well, what are you going to do? When are you going to work 15 minutes? One guy I gave the boot camp to, he didn't listen to the last 12 sessions. He said, I'll get to him. Okay. Anyway, you got to be hardworking and hungry and serious and a self-starter. You got to accept all the mainstream market exchange core values. So look at our core values on our site. I'll put our core values from the mainstream market exchange up against any core values of any company on the planet. Because we're a company that wants to be positive and empowering and cool, and we want to make things work. You got to accept our core values. That shouldn't be a problem. You also got to accept our overall mission. We're the new stock market in town that wants to invest in people. Just like people invest in stocks up on Wall Street, we want to invest back into Main Street's plans. We want to do boot camps. We want to do cooperation. We want to open new Uber businesses with our plans. We want to do call centers and everything all over. The number of things is just mind-boggling. I get confused thinking about all the different plans of what people want to do, and you got to basically accept the fact that, hey, we want to do things. We just don't want to talk about stuff. So you got to accept Mainstream Market Exchange's overall mission. The second thing is one of the second qualification is you have to be a genuine and empowering person. And what I mean by that is I don't want to deal with pricks. I don't want to deal with whiners. I don't want to deal with woke people. I don't want people who want to draw attention to themselves and always everything's drama. I don't want them to be talking about themselves. I want them to be talking about the mainstream market exchange's objectives and what we're trying to accomplish. There's discretion when you're involved in a company, and I need to have people that are discreet. I don't want people embarrassing the mainstream market exchange by having a mainstream market exchange sign at some riot somewhere. Like we're the mainstream market exchange, and they're burning down the town. You have to be a discreet person as well, and I'll be able to discern when I speak with you about that. And you also got to want to be a cooperative person who wants to cooperate with people, with distributors. You want to be a person who you can pick up the phone at 9 o'clock at night and say, hey, Paul, what about this? What do you think of this? I'm looking to flip this or that. What do you think of this idea? You have to want to cooperate with other people. I don't want people that are just self-centered and egotistically selfish. You got to be cooperative with people. And the third thing is just think $5,000. If you want to be a distributor, pay $5,000. The way I ask you to do it initially is go out and get 20 fully developed plans. You should be able to do that. You should be able to do that in a week, with less than that. I mean, I'm between September of 2023 and September of 2025. I'm going to do 1,000 plans. So I mean, and you're welcome to try to match me by just doing what I do, or just do a tenth of what I do, and you can make a lot of money. But you have to be a distributor. You have to at least submit 20 paid for fully developed plans, and for $250 times 20 is $5,000. So think $5,000 as the total in your mind. Now, in lieu of that, in lieu of getting those 20 fully paid for fully developed plans, you can say, look, I want to claim my territory, Paul. I want to get moving on this. I want to get grooving on this. I want to claim Chicago or whatever county I'm in, and I want to. So cut me a check for $5,000 to the Main Street Market Exchange, and boom, we'll work with you to be a distributor right off the bat. Or you can get 50 boot camps, go out and aggressively get them. Or you can, sell the small business banker course that we offer to banks, and that'll work as well. Or you can do other things, but think of 20 paid for fully developed plans, and you're really going to need them anyway, because you got to get to know how to do stuff and how what the fully developed plans are all about, because that's the bread and butter, so to speak, of the core of what we want to do here at the Main Street Market Exchange. But if you want to think of it another way, just think $5,000 if that's what you want to do. So those three things are our qualifications. Number one, you got to be hungry and a self-starter. I don't want troublemakers. Number two, I want genuine and empowering people that we can talk to that are cooperative. I don't want pricks or whiners or woke folks that all they want to do is complain and draw attention to themselves. And the third thing is you got to submit 20 paid for fully developed plans, which come 20 times $250 comes to $5,000, or just cut a check to the Main Street Market Exchange for $5,000 and you're in as a distributor there. But just those are the three qualifications that we have in terms of your ability to qualify as a distributor to see if we're a match at the Main Street Market Exchange. So thanks. I hope that this at least introduced you to a lot of things that you understand that you get at the Main Street Market Exchange. But I do think, going back to what I initially said, you're at a watering hole forever of constant plans. You then get to focus on, hey, I'd like to just do flipping houses here, and I want to talk to other people. With my mentor, I want to talk to other distributors or people or clients within the Main Street Market Exchange's umbrella that they can help me to just do flipping houses. So you can focus on then what you want to do. And then the third thing is that you're associated with really cool, empowering, like-minded, hardworking folks who really want to do well. And in this world that we live in, number one, you can't do it alone. You can't go out it alone. And number two, you're living in a world of a sea of negativity, whether you really clearly recognize it or not. And it's good when you get out of that negativity to deal in a world of folks that are kind and caring and hardworking and smart and intelligent and empowering, that want to do similar stuff that you want to do. So I hope that at least gives you an idea of what it is that you get, per se, from being a distributor. And I'd love to talk to you about it if indeed you'd like to, open up a distributorship in your town. Thanks so much, and talk to you soon. What is it that you want to do? Thanks. Bye-bye.